Hi Gator families, this is Mrs. Grings, and I wanted to show you a few great new tools that we've just added to our Grandview website. So first, if you navigate over to gvpta.com and hover over the section where it says Home, you'll see two new resources. One is a parent hub. If you click there, you'll see this is sort of the overview of all things Grandview. Everything that's happening here, you'll find it here. You'll see things like social emotional learning and specials and student council. So check that out. I am still currently building out that website, but this is sort of the hub for parents. And then the other tool I'd like to share with you is the COVID information page, which is located again if you hover over where it says home and click COVID information. Give it a second and it'll load and it'll show you all of the updated COVID information that you're going to need right at your fingertips. So we're going to take a deeper dive into this little section right now. So first at the top, you'll see there's my COVID guidance quick reference video that I made. It's only about a 5-minute video that updates you on the latest guidance. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see three very important buttons. One is if your child unfortunately gets COVID, what to do. So COVID positive students. This button involves if your child is a close contact. And this button is if you're looking for getting work that your child is maybe missing because they are on some type of quarantine at home. Continuing to scroll down, you'll see there are just at your fingertips test and vaccination submission forms. So each of these is a button. You can use this form if you'd like to submit an at-home test for any reason. This one if you'd like to submit a rapid or PCR test. And this one if you'd like to submit a vaccination submission. And then continuing down, you'll see some guidance links that were provided also on the MBUSD website. This one is a particularly important one as it talks about the safest masks for kids. So check that out. I'm going to scroll up now to these three buttons again because these are sort of the most important. So if your child becomes COVID positive, what we're asking you to do is click this button here and complete the steps. There are a total of 5 steps that you need to complete, and we hope it's pretty simple and self-explanatory. We think following this process will help to expedite getting information to us and keeping kids safe, which is our number one priority. So first it says step 1, you'll fill out this Google form. This is an information gathering Google form. It's also a hyperlinked button, so you click that and it helps to send the pertinent information that we need in order to expedite making sure our campus is safe, making sure your child is safe, and you have all the information you need as well. You'll scroll down. It does say to please stay home until further notice and that someone will be notifying you as quickly as possible. It also encourages you to notify anyone in your social circle that may also be considered a close contact. That's someone outside of school. Step 2 talks about the date to return. Just as a rule of thumb, if a child tests positive and they're asymptomatic, that's day 0. Or if a child becomes symptomatic, that's day 0. Either way, we count 5 days from that day. And based on if that child tests negative on the 5th day, they can return under a modified quarantine. So this page explains what modified quarantine terms mean. Step 3 also explains how you can make an appointment, remembering that symptomatic or positive students do test through Beach Cities and not through our testing available at school. That's only for well students. Step 4 talks about how to notify the teacher. Step 5 shows how you can submit your results. And then, of course, we always want to wish your child a speedy recovery. So this is a super handy dandy tool and resource if your child becomes COVID positive. I'm going to navigate back to those 3 buttons again and show you the next one. You'll click here if your child becomes a close contact. The guidance, as I mentioned before, describes different pathways if it was an unmasked exposure and the child is unvaccinated. So you'll click here if that case pertains to you, or if the child was masked, regardless of vaccination status, or if the child was unmasked but is vaccinated. So there are two different pathways here, and you'll click either depending on which pathway applies to your child. It explains the stay at home components and terms if the child was unmasked and unvaccinated, along with how to make an appointment to get tested and how to return under the modified quarantine guidance. If the child was masked during that time, or again, unmasked but vaccinated, you'll click this pathway to learn the information for how your child can get tested, as well as modified quarantine guidelines. Scrolling back twice to those three buttons, the last one is getting your child's classwork. By the time you're clicking here, I'm hoping to have more of this page populated. But for now, what we have is you'll see it's sectioned off by grade level. So for kindergarten, here's the contact information. Down here where it says general instructions coming soon, we're hoping to have just general instructions for what to expect if your child has to be out for a quarantine period of time based on the kindergarten grade level team. We'll have that same information for first grade, second grade, third, fourth, and fifth. Scrolling back. So I hope that these two resources are just a nice all-in-one location to find the most up-to-date information, user-friendly, as well as just it houses all of the information that you need to know at your fingertips. If you have any questions, like always, please reach out to me. But we're always looking to create a more streamlined experience, for families. So thank you so much for your partnership. Everything we can do to make this process more efficient and streamlined is one step closer to keeping us all safer. So we really appreciate your partnership. Have a great day.